Welcome to today's iRacing car overview, featuring the Audi 90 GTO. This car first appeared on iRacing in 2016 as part of a surprise package with the Nissan GTP ZX Turbo. The car was driven by Hans Stuck, Walter Roll and Hurley Haywood in the 1989 IMSA Kamel GT Championship. Despite a poor start to the season, they dominated countless races in the later stages, which, despite not winning the championship, created a lasting legacy for the car. The Audi 90 GTO has a turbocharged 5-cylinder extremely front-mounted engine, so far forward it's past the front axle. With this, it's capable of outputting 800 brake horsepower and reaching speeds of up to 190 miles per hour. The secret of its speed came from the Quattro all-wheel drive system, giving it limitless grip through corners. It's one of the fastest bricks you'll likely ever see. The gearbox is a 5-speed synchro-mesh H pattern, so that's right, you'll have to break out your shifter for this one. The cockpit of the Audi has great all-round visibility, although the car is wider than you might expect. Despite being an older car, the interior is lovingly detailed, with mostly analog dials, switches and buttons. Although the latest 80s era customizable digital displays do feature around the dash. The attention to detail is noticeable, with even some spelling mistakes in the rear car labels being visible in iRacing, such as Alternator. The unique 5-cylinder engine note of the car has been recreated extremely well in iRacing, with many saying it's one of the best sounding cars on the service. It also features the signature chirp from the turbo, possibly the most satisfying sound to hear whilst you're slamming it around any track. And finally, flames spitting from the side-mounted exhaust are the cherry on top for this car's claim to be the best on iRacing. But don't take my word for it, hear it for yourself. The handling of the car can best be described as understeering. However, don't let this put you off. Due to the all-wheel drive, the car has a considerable amount of grip, and is possibly one of the most controllable in any situation. You will rarely find any twitchy oversteer unless you go looking for it, so the lack of traction control is not a worry. Due to its understeering nature, you will often need to use a lot more of the track to maximize lap time. There's nothing more satisfying than curving the perfect arc from the apex to the outside edge of the track, and the Audi provides an abundance of this. Despite having no ABS, the car brakes very well, although front lockups can be had if you're overzealous. On that note, the tyres generally perform consistently and you won't usually have many issues with wear. However, the odd slide will momentarily overheat them and add to the understeer problems. The car is rapid in a straight line, at times almost causing issues for the faster class to get by on the straights. Its boxy structure also creates a whopping 1 to 2 second draft range. All of these characteristics together create a car that enables extremely close battles on every part of the track. You will often see Audis battling for entire laps side by side and swapping positions with minimal issues. Speaking of issues, the gearbox can often be quite finicky in this car, and misshifts are very common. The audible sound of a distressed driver cursing and revving the throttle endlessly will become music to your ears as you sail past them.
There's a group of faster cars behind. Blue flag.
Jesus, what the f? Unless it happens to you, and you lose 5 positions in a large pile-up after getting rear-ended when the person behind expected you to go forward. As of today on iRacing, the Audi 90 is drivable in the IMSA Vintage Series, previously known as Kamel GT. This is a multi-class series along with the Nissan GTP ZX Turbo in the faster class. The two cars behave very differently, with the Audi being a bit of a brick as discussed, and the Nissan being very nimble. This creates an interesting dynamic between the two during races that can only be described as chaotic. It's highly recommended to practice driving in both and around both to learn the best ways to deal with them. The series itself is a lower participation one, however, has a dedicated and tight-knit community that organises guaranteed weekly time slots that suit both EU and NA communities. If you're interested in joining, these can be found in your time zone at camelgt.com. Thank you for watching this iRacing car overview for the Audi 90 GTO. If you enjoyed this content or found it helpful, I would appreciate a quick click of the like button. And if you would like to see more in the future, a longer press of the subscribe button.